Hey guys, welcome to Tutori Money. I am going to be handling your 12th grade chemistry series where I'm going to break down every chapter into bits and easy conceptual wise so that you can just glance at during your exams. So I'm going to start off with your first chapter, that is the solid state, without wasting any time. Let's start off with the introduction. My first question would always be, what is matter? Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. For example, your desk or your chair. And matter is also divided into three types, that is your solid, liquid and gas. As the chapter name suggests, the solid state. Before going in detail, let us know what liquid and gas are. Liquid and gases are called fluids because of their ability to flow. This is also called as fluidity. This is called as fluidity because of the molecules in it are free to move, whereas when you compare it to solids, the particles or the molecules in it have fixed positions and can only oscillate in their mean position. This is because due to the nature of the particles and binding forces between them. There is an image which shows how the particles are arranged in solid, liquid and gases. Take a look at it. Moving on, the general characteristics of solid state. We all know matter exists in three states: solid, liquid and gas. So before moving on, there is one important point which states that the most stable state of the matter depends on the net effect of two opposing factors, that is under a given set of conditions of temperature and pressure. The two opposing factors or the two factors affecting the stability of the matter are intermolecular forces, that is the force that keeps the molecules together. The second one is thermal energy, which is nothing but heat. Before moving on, the two factors are indirectly proportional to each other. That is, if the temperature is low, that is the thermal energy is low, intermolecular forces are high. Molecules are close to each other in this situation and therefore they exist as solids. Moving on, the characteristics, properties of solid state, which is a very important topic. It is mainly for 5 marks in your college exams. It goes like this. First point, they have definite mass, volume and shape. We all know that. Intermolecular distances are short in solids. You've seen the picture, the distances between each molecules are very little. Intermolecular forces are strong. Since the forces are strong, the molecules are attracted to each other. They are incompressible and rigid. That makes them strong. Their constituent particles, that is your atoms, molecules or ions, have fixed positions and can oscillate about their mean positions. We already discussed about that, so just take a glance at it and make sure you make a note of it because it's really important. Moving on the basis of nature of order present of the arrangement of their constituent particles, that is the atoms, molecules, ions, solid state is classified into crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Moving on to the crystalline solids, I have written it in terms of points to make it easier to understand. The first point is long range order, that is crystalline solids are long range order solids. What is exactly long range order mean? In these solids, the particles, that is the atoms, ions or molecules, are arranged in regular three-dimensional orderly management which is repeats periodically. That is, the arrangement of the molecules in 3 dimensions, since it's in 3 dimension, is repeated throughout. That is, it does not change its shape. It has a geometric shape. So the particles are in an order and it is continuously repetitive. For example, sodium chloride or quartz. Moving on, next point. It has a sharp melting point. it changes its state to liquid abruptly, not at a particular range or something, but it changes immediately. Crystalline solids are anisotropic. So let's know what anisotropic mean. They mean that some of the physical properties of a crystal, that is the mechanical strength or electric and thermal conductivity or etc., have different values when measured in different directions. If you take a crystal and if you measure some of the properties in one end, it will be different when you measure the same properties in the other end. That is what it means anisotropic. The physical properties are not same in the same crystal. That is, it is different in different direction. On cutting with a knife, it gives sharp and smooth edges. Please do not try it. It's just a proof. So they do give sharp and smooth edges. They are also considered as true solids with characteristics enthalpy of fusion. So guys, in this chapter, examples are really important. You get marks for them. So the examples of crystalline solids having covalent bonded particles are quartz and diamond, and the ones which have electrostatic force of attraction are sodium chloride, zinc sulfide, etc. You can also make out more examples, but I think these are enough. So giving you another example, that is solid iodine and solid sulfur have weak van der Waals force of attraction between them. There is a picture of the crystalline solids. You can see them, they are closely packed, and that means they have more force, intermolecular forces between them. So they are solid and they're incompressible, and they have sharp melting point. Anisotropic gives sharp edges and smooth edges when cut with a knife. Please make sure all the points are important. Everything is important in this liquid. So moving on to amorphous solid. The word amorphous is a Greek word which means that has no form. It is of no form. Moving on to the next point, it is a short range order. It is the quite opposite of the crystalline solid, that is the regular patterns which are observed for periodically in crystalline solids. Here we observe it only for the short distances, whereas if you observe for the long distances, there are no regular patterns, meaning which is irregular. That is, in between the arrangement is disordered. Next point, they have diffused melting point, that is wide range of temperature it melts over a range of temperature, not abruptly. They are isotropic in nature. Please make a note of it. Physical properties will have the same values all throughout the same crystal. They do not possess different value. They have same value. Next one, it's irregular in shape when cut with a knife. This is due to the random arrangement of particles in the long distances. That is why they produce irregular shapes. For example, you can have a rubber, glass or plastic. Many examples you can have. There is a picture of how the amorphous solids look. You can see them. They are not regular in shape. They are irregular, whereas compared to crystalline, there is a perfect pattern that the molecules are following. Moving on. Amorphous solids are also called as pseudosolids or supercooled liquids. Guys, please make a note of it, because this can be a tricky question where you might lose this point in between, but it's really important. So amorphous solids are called pseudosolids or supercooled liquids. They are called like this because they have a tendency to flow. This is because they have no definite value of enthalpy of fusion. You have to make a note of it, because they may ask you for give reason or a fill in the blank, or you also be mentioned in CET sometimes. So amorphous solids are pseudosolids, that is they melt, they flow, fluidity is available. That is why it's also called as supercooled liquids. That is because they have no definite value of enthalpy of fusion. Some solids also apparently appear amorphous but have microcrystalline structure. These are also called as polycrystalline solids. I'm going to come to it. They have an they usually appear amorphous, but they have crystalline properties sometimes, or a crystalline structure sometimes. So these have a combination of both of them. So that's why it's called polycrystalline solids. There is a picture. It is irregular at one point and it is regular at one point. So please make sure you observe the picture, you have a clear idea about it. Moving on, there's also one point, amorphous silicon. Make a note of it. Amorphous silicon is one of the best photovoltaic material used for solar panels. It is used for conversion of sunlight into electricity. So just a few general points. Most of the solids are usually crystalline in nature, so based on that they also are classified into further, which I'm going to continue in the next video. So thank you for watching. Hope you like the video and many more to come. Please do follow, like and subscribe. Thank you.